One take wonders. Hi there, I'm Brenda Merritt. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Health here at Dalhousie University, and I have a really, really special guest today for this episode of the Dean's Dialogue. We have Grace Jefferies-Aldridge, our Vice President of People and Culture. And welcome, Grace.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Brenda.
Yeah. So we'll just have a few questions, kind of more formal-ish questions, and then I'll go into some fun rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's great.
All right. First question. As one of the newest senior leaders at Dalhousie, our Dal community may not know much about you. Can you provide us a brief introduction and how your path has brought you to Dal?
Certainly, my pleasure. So I'm proud to be born and raised here in Halifax. Grew up here, went to school here, spent some time out west, but consider myself a proud Nova Scotian. In terms of career-wise, I've been working in the fields of human resources and labor relations for almost 20 years, primarily in the government sector. So I've been very lucky to work within all three levels of the government, municipal, provincial, and federal, kind of went back and forth a little bit, and then spent some time out west, same thing. Government work, progressively challenging roles, always with a lot of focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion weaved into that work. And then had the opportunity to change gears a little bit and use some of those experiences here at Dalhousie. So I'm a proud Dal grad, and it seemed like a good time for the stars to align and bring some of my experiences here. So I'm really happy to be here.
Great. So following up to that, this is Dal's inaugural Vice President of People and Culture. And I'm curious what excites you most about this position?
That's a really good question. I think so many things. I'll tell you, one of the things that struck me right away was the energy immediately my first day here at Dal. There's so much interesting, exciting work happening all the time. And even though working in HR, people and culture can be, fairly functional, the ability to hear something really cool happening that's impacting the community and sometimes globally every day is really energizing. So I think I was excited to be in this environment and change it up a little bit from the government sector that I was in for so long. Looking at the newness of a role, it's exciting, but it's also can be daunting because there's a lot of expectations and a period of shaping what that role can be. That also excites me. So I think with that kind of vulnerability of something new comes the ability to make really good impact and learn a lot. So that's keeping me pretty excited these days.
Yeah. So you've been on at Dal for how many months now?
This is month 3.
3.
Yeah.
And this isn't one of our questions, but how do you see, you're so new at this, but how do you see the shape of this coming to match kind of Dal's need right now in this moment in history?
It really is a pivotal moment because I think one of the underlying foundations of this role is to really blend some of the principles of equity and inclusion into what is pretty traditional HR, labor relations work. And to me, if that can be a foundation of this new role, that's awesome. I've always been a big proponent of not having equity work sort of on the side of our desk, but if we can weave that into what we're doing, especially in people work and human resources work, I think the outcomes are always the most fruitful. So that's something that I think is shaping up to be pretty exciting. I think, look, the ability to bring sort of that people and culture influence to a lot of organizational issues. There's a lot going on externally in the world, in our communities, and a lot happening internally at Dal. There's a lot of great work to build on. But I think the opportunity to have that people and culture lens at the leadership table is new, but it's needed, and I think can be quite impactful.
Great. Are you able to share with our Dal community any of your first year priorities?
Yes,
They're probably shifting every day.
They are shifting every day. Very much still in learning and absorbing mode, for sure. I mean, what I would share is that I'm very focused on listening, and I don't want to take too much time to listen and absorb, but building good, solid relationships is really the foundation for me. There's a lot to learn on the student, faculty, and staff side, so I'm okay with immersing myself as a key priority in getting to know my team, getting to know the expectations at the leadership table, and doing lots of learning. From there, I'd identify a priority as looking at our function as an HR unit, looking at our vision. Are we sort of shaped in the right way to serve the Dal community? Do we have to look at our vision and our structure to make sure that we're shaped in the way that we should be? And I think, within year one, I would like to see us positioned to develop a university-wide people and culture strategy that kind of encompasses all of the different things we've talked about. So I'd actually say my year one priority is a lot of listening and learning that will culminate hopefully in some type of tangible strategy that we can build upon.
Great. And I know you have some great people on your team.
Incredible.
And across campus too. Incredible. And all of the HR folks. So you're walking into some talented folks.
Very, very blessed position to be in. Yeah, incredible work and incredible people.
That's great. Okay, the last kind of more formal question I have. How do you see yourself working with the faculties? And how can the deans and their teams support you?
That's a really good question. I think for me, I'm really interested in how we can support some of the challenging sort of HR related issues and HR conversations that I know are happening. So I have already heard pretty early on that that's an area that we can support on. How can we sort of support faculties and deans supporting and managing their staff and their work throughout that whole employee life cycle? So not just transactional where we can pop in and help with an issue here and there, but how can we sort of holistically support difficult conversations and looking at really helping shape strategies within those groups as well. I think there's some great work to be done. Again, I go back to the listening. I think, having an open door like you, we've had lots of conversations, and I think I can be helped by being led into their worlds a little bit and hearing what some of their people and culture issues are, and that helps myself and the team better shape our supports.
Great. You ready for some rapid fire?
This part makes me nervous, but okay, I'll be relaxed.
All right, this is supposed to be the fun part.
It will be.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
This may be wrong. I'm going to go with Backstreet Boys, which is
slightly
embarrassing, but there it is.
Mine was Willie Nelson. So.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Backstreet Boys. They must have put on a good show.
They did. I saw them probably 3 times.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
What is something you wish more people knew about you?
That's a good question too. I think that I'm a huge music lover, and a lot of people don't know that about me right away. I think I come off sometimes as a little conservative, and we have this HR reputation of being very formal, but I'm a music lover, and music is a big part of my day, every day.
Nice. Do you play an instrument or do any of that?
I played piano growing up. I didn't go too far with it, but it's mainly I'm a listener of lots of different genres. I'm really passionate about different podcasts and anything I can get my hands on to do with music. Yeah.
Nice. There's a question coming up maybe that will dig deeper.
Okay.
If you need to relax and unwind, what is your go-to activity or place?
Definitely the ocean. I'm a huge water lover, and specifically a lover of the ocean. So at one point my parents had a place in Eastern Passage, and so I still go down and find myself being centered there. In the Passage are some beautiful places by the water, so I go there very regularly to decompress.
There's nothing better.
No, it's
than
the
that
absolute
hear
best.
The waves just kind of calming you.
Yeah, refresh mode.
Yep. All right, this might divide the community.
Oh no!
If you had to pick one, would it be dogs or cats?
I'm gonna go with dog.
Dog.
Yeah, I currently don't have any pets. I have 3 kids, and so that keeps me pretty busy.
That's enough.
I would feel terrible to bring a pet into the mix at this point. But I would say a dog for sure. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right, last one. What is the last thing you binge watched, read, or listened to?
That is a good one too. I'm really listening to a podcast right now that I've really dove deep into, which is Adam Grant's podcast about work. And I really have taken, probably in preparation for this role, but even just more recently, a lot about how we sort of are transitioning out of the COVID work mode, a lot of good data that's coming out about sort of the post-COVID work world. So over the last 2 weeks, I've been heavy into that podcast. So
he's an author too, right?
he is an author
I'm
too.
listening to one of his books and I cannot remember what it is.
Is it his newest one?
I think it's about cultivating talent. I can't remember.
There's a cultivating. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
I think that there's some great stuff, especially I think resources and data around kind of the new world of work, and I think that's some interesting pieces in there.
Well, that's it. Anything, last thing you want to add?
No, just, I'm so pleased to be here, and everyone has been so welcoming and lovely, and I'm just really looking forward to the future at Dal. I think the future's so bright, so much to leverage, so much amazing work underway. So I'm really pleased to be here to be part of it.
Great. And I just want to thank you. When I asked you to come on to the Dean's Dialogue, you enthusiastically said yes. So
Yes.
I'm very, very grateful.
Yes, thank you for asking me.
All right. Well, thank you.
No, thank you. Great.